Hello, everyone. I'm Maria Velankani. So I'll be guiding today's session. And today we have Rohit Sharma, a senior AEM expert with over a decade of experience helping enterprises scale their AEM platforms. Rohit, great to have you here.
Thanks, Maria. Hi, everyone. My name is Rohit Sharma. I have around 15 years of experience in the IT space. I have been working with AEM projects, other CMS projects for last 13 years with providing my support to different industries like e-commerce, pharma, education, telecommunication, marketing, payment system and helping them out in building their website, maintaining those website in order to generate more revenue. In today's session, we'll talk about how business users manage content, why content is important, how you can manage your content so that it doesn't become a liability to the eyes of a very known and renowned CMS called as AEM or Adobe Experience Manager from it.
Thanks, Rohit, for the list of points that you have mentioned that you're going to cover during this session. So I have a list of questions to clarify with you. So I'm more curious to know, like, how would you guide an AEM user who have
Mhm.
gone live but no longer have SI support in managing upgrades, performances, and governance effectively?
Sure, Maria. That's a good question. And I think many customers get stuck after their SI partner or support leaves. But my advice to customers, and we usually what follows is we always, after providing or support to our customers or to any of our users, we always advise them that AEM will not be running itself, right? You need a center of excellence like at least two people, two skilled people who will be able to manage your deployments. You will be able to manage your incident handling, caching mechanisms, all those stuffs. And if a customer is on AEM Cloud, which is a kind of a new thing also for some of the customers, but it has been market for last 5 to 6 years.
Mhm.
There are many different things that have automatically been provided by Adobe, like Cloud Manager pipelines, environment handling, all the stuffs are already there. So what we advise anyone who's working on AEM projects is to have those things mastered or have a control of this thing. Also have some run books prepared so that you are aware of how the thing's going to run, how the things are going to keep ready, and maybe invest in some of the monitoring tools like APM, New Relic, Splunk, which could help you in log monitoring and system monitoring as well.
Okay, right. Um, and once the initial implementation phase is over, so the new challenges tend to surface. So, based on your experience, what are the most common challenges AEM users face after implementation, and how can they overcome them?
So one of the key challenges that we see that is content is not limited, right?
Mhm.
As we are there in a world where content changes every day, people like to view new content every day. Things are moving very fast with AI coming in picture as well. Content keeps on getting added, and business users who don't have that much of time to maintain any AIM site, they keep on adding content, and then over the time we see there's a performance degradation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what we usually recommend is have a platform audit done, have a content cleanup done regularly, have an archival strategy in the team, whether it is for AEM assets or your site pages, anything. Those should always have a strategy of cleaning up the contents. Do not overburden your AEM with new templates so that it becomes like an overhead on your system. Have a standardized components and templates. Adobe also recommends to use their already created core components, which cover most of your components that you need in a basic site. I think keeping those audits in picture will help anyone out in a longer run and keep your content structure clean and like more performance enhanced.
Great, great point. So Mohit, regarding the upgrades and the stability, so one area that often creates uncertainty is upgrades. So, how can AEM users move from reactive to proactive upgrade planning? And what approach would you recommend them?
We usually recommend a proactive approach because reactive approach is something which we usually define as upgrade when forced,
Mm-hmm,
right? So whenever you're forced to upgrade, then you do an upgrade. It's kind of a reactive approach, which can make things a kind of in a hurry to be done and may lead to production issues or something you get missed or something which could break down a system as well. So we always suggest to have a proactive approach. If you are having a on-prem or a AMS AEM system,
mm-hmm,
have a technical backlog where you will have upgrades done regularly. Thumb rule, which might not everyone tells, is always have a AEM version one less than the latest AEM version release. That will help you give a stable AEM version
mm-hmm.
to your sites. If
Okay.
you are on AEM Cloud, Adobe provides you a configuration where you can have the release done around 1 month before itself, where you can measure if it is causing any issue or not, and then you can ask Adobe to stop the upgrade as well. So those are the few features, and there are new features as well Adobe Cloud has provided where you can pause upgrades if you face any issue as well. So these are something which should be always be mindful before doing it. But yeah, always have a proactive approach. Don't wait for things to get dirty and then clean it up. Make sure that your systems are always upgraded. You are on the latest features. That will make it more faster, more performance centric.
Yes, totally agree to the point you just mentioned. And when the structure isn't in place, so things can start to slip. So where do AEM programs typically begin to break down after implementation? And how can teams prevent that earlier?
So, Maria, breakdown usually happens when there is no ownership, the governance is missing, and we always suggest anyone who starts designing a project or who starts working on any AEM project have a crisp and defined content structure, including assets as well as content. The poor structuring of the content can lead to a lot of complexity in future, and don't over customize. Always have a out of the box first approach. As I mentioned in previous question as well, Adobe provides you with a set of core components. Go through those core components. Those are extensively built by Adobe, purely tested with different features, and can help you out defining your website. Lock your information architecture early so that business and the tech team have a clear picture of how your content structure will look like, how the ownership will belong to the business authors, or if they have a content authoring team, they should take that ownership.
Okay. Since you were talking about governance and scale, so that naturally brings us to governance, so which is often overlooked, right? So what risk should AEM users be aware of if they operate without a structured content and a platform governance model?
So if there is no governance of the content, then anyone can create anything.
Hmm.
Whenever any team implements AEM projects, they define an authoring guide. And if they don't, that every customer, every user should ask their SI partners to define it. We define in our every project that authoring guide defines the governance of how the content should be authored, how the content should be placed, how rollout happens, how the content should be published, how you can preview your content. All these things are mentioned. Basically, it's a guide which helps business authors to author the content and push it to production. If there is no governance involved, you'll see duplicate content everywhere, publishing mistakes happening like wrong content going live, performance issue coming into picture, and that could lead to slow time to production of data. So those things, as well as there could be some security risk involved as well, where people may offer some wrong content and use some wrong content to publish it, and that can could lead to a security issue as well. So initial investment on governance will help every person or every team grow their content in a better way.
Okay. And so, Rohit, just imagine an organization is growing, which is in managing scale because even more complex. So, how can enterprises effectively manage multiple brands and regions in AEM without creating silos or duplicating content?
So for managing multiple brands and regions, AEM has a very good feature of multi-site manager where you can create a single global content and that could use to roll out into multiple languages, multiple regions. You don't have to create a lot of content every time. So if you have a new language coming out from your site, it is like a 2-3 clicks away to be rolled out into the production. So as you can see my screen as well, I've kept it ready as well for the demo. If you see, we did this for one of the customers. They have like 5-6 brands with them. They have multi-language in them, and this you can see there is a language masters folder which contains those languages. In our case, that was English and French, and we have rolled out EN and FR. Those are linked to these particular languages. So any change I make in this particular language masters, I can roll it back to home. That is the EN one. Similarly, if suppose going forward they required a English language that is specific Canadian and they want a locale out of it like ENCA, they don't have to recreate all the content. They can simply create a live copy from this language masters and ENCA will get rolled. So if you have a requirement where you have multiple brands, you have a scenario where you are rolling out in multiple languages and that have a source, always read out for MSM, multi-site manager. That's one of the feature. And if you have different content for different languages and there is no relation between them, go for language copies. That will also help you ease out those setup as well and keeps it ready for future purposes as well.
That was really helpful to see in action. Um, and how should AEM users structure content approval, like workflows and governance, to create a mature and a scalable environment?
So workflows as in a very great feature that AEM also has. So workflows define a group of steps which you can create, or you Adobe also has some out of the box workflows which you can directly use as well. So those workflows help you out create a flow where you can have an approved state of content going into production. So as you can see, this is some of the workflow models that comes out of the box from Adobe. So Adobe provides you different models out of it and you can use it. So one of the great model or one of the models which usually we have seen businesses using it and pushing it to live and also making it as an habit of using it is
Mm.
to request approval workflow. So the request approval workflow, what it does is whenever you create a content or whenever you update a content and you require someone to approve that content, you first need that approver to see the content, preview it, make sure everything is in order, and then approve it. And once he approves it, then only it should go live. So you'll see this workflow, which is known as request for activation.
Okay.
Activation in AEM generally means pushing it to the live state. So this workflow, if you want to use it directly as well, you can use it. But we usually recommend to have a reference out of it and create your own custom workflow so that you have those groups that you need confirmation from. So request for activation workflow is just a reference workflow where you can send it for approval. Don't make it too heavy. Have it a specific reviewer group involved, and those reviewer groups can help it. So you can see this whenever this workflow start, it's sent for approved content with a person which is an approver.
Okay.
When he approves it, then for the page is created, then it again goes back to another person who can review it for activation, and then this page gets activated. So just a flow, but again, follow it for your own business needs, and you can customize it as well.
Okay. So over the time, even a well-designed system can become inefficient.
Correct.
So what inefficiency do you commonly see in a content operations after a few years, and how can team optimize them?
So common inefficiencies that I seen is that initially the structure is not getting properly created, and then after that it is too late for them to update. There are too many manual steps involved. There is no global content available. AEM has a feature of content fragments and experience fragment, which is like a global content which they can use instead of keep on authoring on different pages. One of the key example is header and footer, which is common across your all website.
Okay. Yes. So Rohit, regarding the modernization and the cloud, so we are also seeing a lot of movement towards cloud and newer delivery models, right? So with AEM as a cloud service and a edge delivery service gaining traction, how should enterprises evaluate this shift and make the right decision?
So EDS is one of the new model that Adobe has put forward,
Okay.
but just to not confuse anyone, it is not a replacement of AEM.
Mm-hmm.
EDS is best suited for your complex your SEO speeds. EDS is more towards having a lot of good lighthouse scores. But if you have very complex business use cases where you require a lot of server side computing and lot of API calls, then you have to make sure that you choose the right system. It is
Okay.
difficult to suggest which system will suit you at best, but don't blindly migrate.
Okay.
Evaluate your content complexity. See
Mm-hmm.
your team has EDS capability as well, because EDS is more on front end side rather than a AEM like a back end side system. So evaluate first. EDS has different authoring options like document based authoring, AEM based authoring with universal editor, and then they also have now a DA Live, which you can use to author with the AEM tools. So usually what we have seen is hybrid setups
Mm-hmm.
where some complex features are still on AEM, but some of the sites which are a lot of having marketing data that requires not such complex operation are done through EDS. But yes, EDS is something that Adobe is also promoting it, and may have a lot of movement toward EDS in the future as well.
Okay. Okay. So now, while cloud is the direction many are moving forward, so a key question from many organizations is where they currently stand. So, what should AM users on 6.5 or lower focused on to assess their cloud readiness? And how can they start preparing for a smooth transition?
So for that, if you go on to Adobe documentation, there is a very good document that Adobe has created. But just for to answer your question, have a BPA report done, which Adobe already provides steps how to run that. So that
Yeah.
BPA report will give you a lot of things which you require to fix or update in your current implementation in order to move to cloud. Those checklists would include removing deprecated APIs, check your dispatcher configs, see what older system you are currently using. Static template should not be there, one of the things. Then Adobe, in order to move, is provide you lot of modernization tools as well, like workflow migration, dispatcher migrations as well. So have those tools run, have those tools used to, and then start for migration. Have content migration done through CTT tool. There is a cloud readiness analyzer as well, which you can use to analyze, that I had mentioned already, is BPA report
Mm-hmm.
that always lists down what code refactoring you need to do towards cloud compatible patterns. So have a complete migration approach created, like the analyzation phase, the migration phase, implementations, and then the testing as well. So those will help out moving towards AEM cloud in a smoother way as well.
Okay. And added to that, like what challenges should AEM users expect when upgrading legacy environments, and how can they prepare for that?
So, few challenges that we have seen in our implementation of migration to cloud is custom code breakage. Like there are some custom code, there are some deprecated APIs which are right now not working in AEM cloud. I can list out few things as well. Then you have dispatcher issues, dispatcher configurations. Way of implementing dispatcher has changed, so everyone needs to aware how to update configs now in the latest versions. Then one other challenge will be content migrations. When you are using CDD tool, you need to ensure few flags are already enabled. When you are doing a phased migration, make sure that there is a flag which is called as wipe mode.
Mhm.
That should be either enable or false depending on which phase of migration you are on. So in order to do that, have a full code audit, right? And if you are looking for any new feature from business to be done, have that done after the you release to cloud.
Okay.
Then have a dry run in lower environments. Cloud has typically three environments: dev, stage, and prod. Have testing done on dev environment, your
Mhm.
UAT done on stage environment, performance testing and security done on stage environment, and then the final thing done on the prod environment.
Okay, wonderful. And adding and along with that, so what strategies would you recommend to minimize risk and downtime during the upgrade or migration?
So, few things keep in mind at that time is have a rollback plan.
Hmm.
If something went wrong, you should be able to do that. One of the recommendation that we always give everyone, including our customers, is have the rollback plan to switch the DNS back to your older system. Do not
Okay.
wipe off your code from the older system till the time you have gone live, and 1 to 2 months after that as well.
Hmm.
Have a functional and regression testing done on the lower environments, have a content freeze and code freeze defined at least 2 weeks before you go live, and have a clear understanding of how cloud works, how the pipelines are defined. There are a lot of good features in cloud
Hmm.
that you can utilize to have a minimization risk during upgrades. Have utilized them. There are pipelines, different pipelines that you can use. There are now different environments. AEM also comes with RD or sandbox environments, which you can use as a part of your development as well. So have all those features in place. Have a complete runbook created of what steps you will take during the go live, what's your escalation plans, how you can roll back, which configs are important during those things, what content migration strategy is, how you are going to migrate the content at the final leg. So have all those things done beforehand in order to have a good go live.
Okay. So now coming to like performance. So performance is another area that directly impacts business team.
Right.
So how can team identify and resolve common performance issues in a mature AEM environment?
So if you're facing any performance issue on your AEM side, don't get too stressed first and start hopping around different things like logs, reviews, and all other
Okay.
factors.
Mm-hmm.
See where the issue is. Finding the root cause is very important. See which element is taking a lot of time. Are your images cached? Is it something request that is reaching the server? Is there any query that is getting failed that can be done through logs again? But have caching things done. Check first whether the call that you are making is cached or not. Any third party API you are using, is it returning a 404? Have you have any too many heavy images loaded? Are you not utilizing web optimized images? Check all those things first, and then then if those things are not able to figure you out, go for logs review. See where the error is breaking, where it is taking a lot of time. Find the root cause. See what is the optimal fix for that, and then fix it out.
Okay, wonderful. And thanks for the insights that you are sharing. And I think, yeah, this is more interesting topic for the day, and because you're finally a topic that's getting a lot of attention, that is AI. So, how can AEM users use AI in a practical way, and what should they avoid?
So, Maria rightly mentioned, it is getting a lot of attentions now.
Yeah.
Every other company, every other people, all are trying to include AI as a part of their product. And SEO, which is earlier getting a lot of energy, is now moved to your GEO, where you are actively searching the agent's content. So AEM is also not far behind that. They have created their own agents now, which can use to help you access content, which can help you modernize content. There are content advisor agent as well, governance agent as well, which can help you on your specific any query that you have for your content. Adobe is already giving you before buy trials. Have
Mhm.
your agents in picture, they all work. Adobe has already returned their MCP servers, which you can use for generate, like using the help of those agents. Have those things integrated, have a read of how the agents are going to work, how they can help you access content. If you are already on AEM cloud, you'll be able to see AI agents already working on your system. AEM has Adobe has also listed out their MCP server, so you'll see like mcp.adobeamcloud.com as their MCP server, which has information regarding content, regarding cloud manager, where you can see your bills, pipeline, and everything. And that also uses agentic AI inbuilt them. So Adobe is also focusing on AI right now. AI is the new world. So I'll always suggest that be read out all the stuff that are there on agentic AI and the MCP server that Adobe has received. Be updated on all those stuff, because again there will be a lot of focus done on AI in the upcoming years. AI is the new world.
Mm.
Adobe has already enclosed its agents as well as MCP servers. So I'll request everyone who's watching this podcast, do go online, see all those agents. Adobe is providing buy before trial as well. So you can try those agents as well before you invest onto those AI thing, and have a readout. Adobe.mcp.adobeamcloud.com is the MCP server Adobe has provided. Have it integrated in your local, see how agents are working, see how it can help your businesses enhance, and then go for that investment. So just to conclude, Adobe is not far behind on AI. They are stepping up, and you'll see a lot of changes coming in future related to AI in Adobe systems.
Yes. So with that, we come to an end of this podcast session. So we thank Rohit for his insights and for his time and sharing these valuable points. So thank you once again, Rohit, and we look forward to hear more from you.
Thanks, Maria, for having me. Hopefully, we are able to answer all the questions you have, and hopefully, this podcast will help a lot of people who are thinking of having AEM as their core CMS.
Absolutely. And we know that every AEM journey is unique. So if you have follow-up questions or would like to explore any of these topics further, so feel free to reach out. And we'll also be sharing a follow-up with key takeaways and resources. So once again, thank you all. We look forward to connecting with you very soon. Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.